In this video, I wanted to talk about the differences between the Earthy 30 challenge and the 75 hard challenge. I'm someone who enjoys a challenge. I've done 100 days no drinking 3 times, 75 hard twice, and I'm currently doing the Earthy 30 challenge. What I thought I'd do is just point out some of the differences between the challenges.
So last Friday of 75 hard today, just got a few more days to go after this. And I'm very happy to have inspired one person, that is you, Mr. Andy Edwards. Just keep your eye on the prize and you'll be fine.
I got a bad feeling about this.
75 hard, as the name suggests, is 75 days long, and during this 75 days you need to do 2 45-minute workouts. You need to do one of those workouts outdoors, come rain or shine. You need to follow a diet, you need to take a photo of yourself, you need to drink loads of water, a gallon, you're not allowed any alcohol or cheat meals, and then you have to read 10 pages of non-fiction. And they've got a nice app where you can go in and you can post an image to your social media, and that's something actually I really like, because there's this idea of social proof or accountability. When you say you're going to do something, you're encouraged to do it if you make it public. So what does this challenge look like? It's a health and fitness challenge primarily, with a bit of diet, but I would say the thing is mental resilience, because you have to work hard to complete this challenge. The 2 45-minute workouts is definitely demanding. It's difficult to fit in 90 minutes of exercise in a day. If it's wet outside, then it's not always fun. The good thing about 75 hard is a workout is whatever you want it to be. So a 45-minute walk could be a workout. I'd also count yoga as a workout, so you can scale it to your needs. I have to say that I felt good on 75 hard. The difficult bit was from the middle, so sort of day 32 till about day 50. That's the no man's land, where you're kind of over halfway, but you're not in the home straight yet. I lost a ton of weight when I did 75 hard, and I my watch does an approximation of my VO2 max, and it went from 50 milliliters per kilogram per minute to 53. So I had a marked increase in that VO2 max, which is very promising.
Frag out!
So now let's talk about Earthy 30. Earthy 30 is a 3-level challenge. Level 1 is you just need to eat 30 different plant-based foods each week for 4 weeks, and then you've completed level 1. Level 2 is you need to add in some lifestyle hacks as well. So you do your 30 different plant-based foods a week for a month, but then also every day you have to get 10 minutes sunlight in your eyes before 9 AM, and then you have to do 30 minutes exercise or 10,000 steps each day. And I can tell you that sometimes it's actually easier to do 30 minutes exercise than it is to do 10,000 steps, because 10,000 steps is about 75 minutes walking, depending on how far you walk and all that kind of stuff. And then level 3 is everything in level 2, but you're not allowed any caffeine after 2 PM, you're not allowed any booze at all, and you can't have any food 2 hours before bedtime. There are some commonalities with 75 hard, but the base of Earthy 30 is very much nutrition and gut health and overall well-being, but then we're stacking in these lifestyle metrics as well. So the sunlight is about actually setting your body clock so you can get a good night's sleep. Exercise obviously is exercise, which is great for longevity and building fitness, building VO2 max and building muscle mass, depending on the type of exercise you're doing. And then the no caffeine after 2 PM each day, the no booze at all, and the no eating 2 hours before bedtime. That is actually, again, about promoting a better night's sleep. And then the better night's sleep has knock-on effects to well-being. The thing is, you don't have to progress through the levels. If you stay at level 1, you're doing a healthy eating challenge. If you do at level 2, you're kind of improving your lifestyle through better sleep and exercise. And if you go to level 3, I call it the detox level, because that really is quite difficult to make it through all of those levels. So I enjoyed the Earthy 30 challenge because it's a little bit less demanding than 75 hard, and actually you can stay at a level. So if you're not quite ready to move from level 1 to level 2, maybe you've had a cold or something and you're not quite ready to do exercise every day, stay at level 1. If you're at level 2, but you've got some weddings coming up and you know that you'd rather be drinking, then actually just stay on level 2 until you know that you've got a really good month to do level 3. I would also say that the habits you build in Earthy 30 are a little bit easier to hang on to in everyday life, because once you get into the habit of eating 30 different plant-based foods a week, it's actually very easy to keep that habit. Once you get into the habit of walking 10,000 steps or doing exercise every day, that's also a good habit to get into. And then morning sunlight and not having coffee after 2, they're also pretty easy habits to adhere to every day. I really like counting up my foods. I don't like tracking my foods per se, which is going into a calorie counter or MyFitnessPal and doing how many grams of meat of something I've had or how many eggs. You know, that's quite boring. But literally just ticking off a new plant-based thing every time you eat it, that's pretty straightforward. I think everyone can do that and it's not too much of a hardship. So a few war stories for my challenges. When I did the 100 days no drinking, I did that every time for charity. So having a cause that you can support gives you some accountability, gives you some staying power, helps you do it. I also made posts on Instagram charting my progress so that I felt very accountable to my goal.
Oh, great finish.
Right, come on, go
Go, Dino!
Exactly the same thing for 75 hard. I would post my 75 hard status. I also did it at a similar time to some friends, so we had that social support as well. And we could go out together. The time when I was doing my 1 red meat per week, occasionally we'd go out for a really nice steak and would really celebrate that one time of eating red meat per week. The times when I felt any of these challenges have been important have been times when alcohol was turning into a crutch. Like, I'm definitely not someone who would classify themselves as a big drinker, but there is a difference between having a glass of wine a couple of nights a week and having a glass of wine every night a week, because then in your mind, sometimes it can turn into something that you look forward to as a means of decompression. In actual fact, if you look at the data, and I can tell you from my 8 Sleep mattress, if I have a glass of wine, I might relax in the moment, but I sleep less well as a result of that wine. So it's a bit of it's a faux masquerading as a benefit. I think there's a better phrase for that. If I've ever felt that I was relying on alcohol a bit too much, all of these challenges have been a really good means of just creating some distance between that. The exercise stuff as well, I am motivated with exercise. I think the good thing about 75 hard is you do build up this resilience, like it's good to get outside and exercise outside. With Earthy 30, especially with the diet component, I actually quite like getting to Thursday and see that I've had 20 foods, and then again you go to the supermarket and you're like, what novel food can I pick out this week? What didn't I get in my food delivery, and what can I add, whether it's something like some coconut or some pomegranate or an exotic vegetable, what can I add in to make sure that I get to these 30 different plant-based foods? And what I found with Earthy 30 is, because it is more sustainable, it's shifted my eating behavior to having fewer takeaway meals, fewer fast food meals, and actually going out and identifying ingredients that I feel that I really need to have to make sure that I reach those 30 different plant-based foods a week. And then I'd also say religiously, no matter if I'm doing Earthy 30 or not, I do get my morning sunlight every single day, thanks to Andrew Huberman for drumming that one into me.
You do want cortisol to reach its peak early in the day, right about the time you wake up. One way that you can ensure that that cortisol peak occurs early in the day, right about the time that you wake up, is to view bright light, ideally from sunlight, within the first 30 to 60 minutes after waking.
And I do try to eat early as well. So especially if it's if it is fatty meat, then it does take me a bit longer to digest that. That's something I learned from Zoe. My kind of fat metabolism is a bit slower. And again, I see this in the sleep data. If I do have something fatty like a burger or like a fatty steak, I do tend to sleep less well when it comes to bedtime. I hope that goes some way to explaining the differences between those challenges. And if you want to do Earthy 30, then enjoy establishing those 3 levels. And if you want to stay at level 1 and just eat 30 different plant-based foods a week, great. If you want to level it up with some exercise and some daylight, that's level 2. And if you want to go detox, that's level 3. In actual fact, the easiest thing is going to the website and downloading the scorecard and literally just counting the different times you eat a different vegetable. And then if you want to enhance the data, you can do a tally of how many times you've eaten that thing. So I had bananas twice last week on my way to 30 different plant-based foods. So that's the scorecard. Go ahead and download it. Send me a message on Instagram if you want to join the challenge. It's at Earthy 30 Challenge. That's it from me, and I'll see you next time.